dogs. I have to go check stuff. So anyway, I had my wonderful beautician because my long hair was really getting on my nerves. And it's 105 here in Texas. No rain in sight, no coolness in sight. So guess what? I had her do me some braids. I like them. I like them a lot. I may have her do it all the time. But anyway, this is kind of an appreciation Tuesday because, you know what, I am not in the mood to sit and wait on this line. So I'm going to get out of here if I can. I don't know if I can or not. And go to a different Sonic where there isn't such a big pile of people. Looks like there's a... That line hasn't even moved yet. Get about it. Anyway, I want to give an appreciation to the Mobtube because yesterday I got to see Johnny Mac and Tony Soflo live. I was actually in their chats. I actually got to see the whole show live. They were both great. Then I just got done watching FBS's and Lee Cole's this morning before I left. And they were also wonderful. And Gunsmoke's is wonderful too. Whenever he does one, I watch it. So I just want to say your content is absolutely wonderful, and I'm so glad that I got to meet you, even if it was through a hateful, horrible cop calling, CPS calling bitch like Lauren. It was well worth meeting you. And I just wanted to tell you how pleased and how I couldn't believe that Danny Trio, somebody said something, he kept his temper better than I would. I get so mad when people say something about Pekingese and it's obvious they don't know a thing about them. They don't know where they originated. They don't know they're one of the oldest breeds ever out of China. The English went into China and stole some of the Pekingese, but the Chinese is where they came from. And I know the pedigrees, the grandfathers, the great-grandfathers, where the breed came from. If it came from England, Canada has some good Pekingese. And when somebody said that about those pigeons to Danny, I could see him getting as mad as I do over my dogs, because he started talking about pedigrees and different countries, and I understand totally. I don't care what kind of animal you're into. I don't care if it's horses, because I had horses the same way. I knew everything about them. I knew who their relatives were, unless they were just some horse I saved from the slaughter. The other horses, I knew everything about them, and that was so wonderful to hear Danny talking like that. And then FBS's show had a guy, I think his name was Jeff. I think I've only seen him once. He's got to be a good guy or he wouldn't have been on there. But they were talking about Howard Stern, another thing that I love. But they left Beetlejuice out. And I used to like Beetlejuice. They were talking about the midget, high-pitched Eric, all those people, but they never mentioned Beetlejuice. And I used to like Beetlejuice a lot too. So that show was great. I've grown very fond of Johnny Mac. I like his show every morning. Usually uplifting. He seems like he's a lot nicer person than I am, but I still like listening to him. And of course I love Gunsmoke, but he's a rarity. He's rare, so he's fantastic when he does do a show. And I also want to thank Mobtube for this. I'm not going to bring a bunch of bottom feeders over there because I'm ashamed of most of them. They're cop callers, they're CPS callers. I've only brought 3 over there, and one of them, I'm not going to say her name, but she'll know who I'm talking about. I took her to Tony Soflo's because she is a Cuban, and I figured she would love listening to him, and I was right. She absolutely loves him. And the other 2 ladies, Minnie 560 and Tammy TTC, are wonderful, and you guys have made, well, I think Minnie is she's everywhere. You've really made her part of the group. And Tammy is just as wonderful as Minnie. And you were all treating her very kind. And I was so appreciative. Thank you guys so much for being nice to my two ladies that I would trust with hyena. That's how much I trust them. There's not very many bottom feeders I would even bring over there. I don't care how you treat them. Knock them out. They're troublemakers, cop callers, CPS callers. And then you were talking about CIs, confidential informants. And I know the Mobtube is full of them. And you know who most of them are. Well, the bottom feeders, there's only one. I'm not going to say her name. She was a confidential informant because most of these bitches, they don't do anything in confidential. They call cops and you can get a FOIA request and they pull the cop calls, and if they don't give their name, you can tell by their voice, and they don't mind doing it. And they've always got a reason. Oh, well, you know, there's no such thing as wellness checks. I've been they call a wellness check on myself. So it's just an excuse to do the shit they do, and they've all done it. But they do have one confidential informant over there, and I read the paperwork, so I know she was. But I'm going to let my friend Nancy discuss CIs, because her being in the pen for 5 years, she knows all about that game, and they tried to get her to flip several times, and she never did. And she knew several people that did do that and got away with everything because they give everybody up. She told me that the alcohol and tobacco people and the other guys, they're not really interested in the junkies. They're interested in the top dealers, where the stuff's coming from. Unless you got some real important people, they don't really care. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys I appreciate it. Oh, and Code. I love Code, but he is way, way, way too nice for me, too sweet. But when he talks about Harleys, me and him got something going on, because there's 3 things in my life, that not counting family. Pekingese are number 1. My guns are number 2. And the third thing is Harleys. I love a Harley. Unless you had that powerful steel machine between your legs throbbing, you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is to ride Harleys. It's something I never get too old to do. So Code is too sweet for me, but I try to listen to his show, even though he's way too sweet. I'm kind of a bitch. Well, I really am a bitch. I'm not kind of one. I am one. Danny touched my heart talking about the pedigrees. I understood what he was talking about completely. And I'd have blew off the handle if somebody would have said something about Pekingese. It's just a mud or something like that. I can't tolerate them people. I'm even really careful who I sell my Pekingese to, because if they don't know anything about the breed, they don't need to own one. And it's really, really hot here. It's 105. It's been hot every day with no rain. And Pekingese Paradise is pitiful looking. So I'm not going to do anything outside until it gets way cooler. Because hyena doesn't like the heat. And I don't like doing that stuff with her in the house, because the other dogs are too close and it starts a big chaos moment. So I'm just going to do a driving line. So a big shout out to all you Mobtube guys. I love all of you. Glad I can help with NB. And Rustin's been kind of quiet over there on the Durkee side. In fact, I don't even think I've seen him do one. If I haven't got the notification for it. I think he's been pretty quiet. Durkee's been quiet, so they really don't have any content, because Durkee's got a girlfriend now. He hasn't been putting anything up. So it might have shut him down over there a little bit too. I hope so. But anyway, this is more or less an appreciation. I'm going to let Nancy talk more about the confidential informant stuff. Since she was in jail, she knows about it. And she said those rehabs that you go to, why she could never go through one is because they wanted her to snitch on people. And she wouldn't snitch on anybody. So they kicked her back to the prison. But I, myself, I don't know how these women can call these cops and they don't get charged with malice calls or CPS or jobs or whatever they're doing. because they send these cops to these people's houses. They make shit up. The people show up at the house, the cops do. Because I've seen the cops actually come to people's doors, and there's nothing going on. It's just them. And they don't have any shame about it. Because we find out, because there's people, believe it or not, in the bottom feeders that know how to pull paperwork and FOIA requests and all that, so they always get caught. They always get out. But it never stops them. They keep on doing it. And I think my life would have been over. I'm 71. My life would have been over in my 40s if I'd have been a cop caller. Because the people that I deal with, you call a cop one time, that's it. You're done. So I don't know how either of these women, well, I'm sure they weren't raised like me because they don't know anything about anything. But I used to always want to know everything about everything, always asking questions. So this weekend sometime I'm going to Clear Lakes, where my meth head and copper burning friends, and I got some in-laws over there. And you just don't run your mouth. So I used to go over there on Saturday nights and stay with this lady called Brenda, and I have a whole case of The Sopranos with the soundtracks and everything in it. I got it for my birthday. It was one of the best presents I ever got. So Brenda had never watched The Sopranos. So Saturday, after I'd get off work, I would load up, go over to Brenda's house, and I'll show you. Out in the middle of the woods, dude, the Boone County mating call worked fine over there because there was a bunch of fucking pillheads. You shake a pill bottle, you'd have 20 people coming out of the woods. Brenda and I would do the Soprano Saturday thing. And FBS is right. Every time you watch that series, there's something that you totally don't remember or didn't see. And it's kind of sad to watch now because Gandolfini's gone and Paulie's gone. But at the time when Brenda and me were re-watching them, they were both still alive. And it was fun because she'd never seen them. She was all involved. So her neighbor, I'm not going to say his name either, he would say, you ladies really need to lock this door. Well, we weren't worried about locking the door. We knew every pillhead in the damn area and every meth head and everybody else. We knew them. That still don't mean they won't kill you and rob you. So we would never lock the door, and we'd lay there and watch as much as we could, and if we got sleepy, Brenda would mark it down on a calendar what disc we were on and what season and one episode so we could start it up next Saturday. So her neighbor kept saying, you need to shut your damn door, you need to shut your door. So one night we both fell asleep. She slept on the love seat, I slept on the couch in the living room. We usually fell asleep watching The Sopranos and shut them off. So he comes in there and he has me right by the throat. And she had a dog. She had a pit bull dog called DOG. That dog never barked or nothing because the dog knew the guy. And when I woke up, he's standing there with his hand on my throat, and he said, this is just how easy it would be to come in here. You women need to lock that door. Well, we locked the door after that. That woke us up that anybody couldn't come in there. So anyway, my people haven't seen me in a while over there, so I'm going to take a trip over there. Nancy kind of wanted to go because when Nancy talked about in my live how when she jumped probation, and I took her over there and hid her out in Clear Lakes because that's a different county. She didn't know anybody from over there. Her dope connects were all in Van Zandt County and towards Dallas. These people are Wood County people. She didn't know any of them. So I took her over there, got her a place to stay, told her whatever you do, don't open the door if the cops come because they can't come in without a warrant. So do not open the door, just act like you're not home. So she stayed over there about a year, and then somebody seen her, I don't know who it was, but anyway, she wound up going back to jail. But I hid her out for a year. So now she's done her time, she doesn't have any paper on her, she's good. But she got to know all these friends that I knew from being over there. In fact, she found people I didn't even know. Because she's a magnet for people like that. If there's none around, they see her, she's going to be buddies with them. But anyway, I was married to bikers, I told you. And I'm thinking number 3 wasn't a biker, he's my daughter's dad. But number 4 had went to Mesquite with 2 other dudes. Came back. husband didn't say nothing to me, but the other guys that were with him said, have you women been watching TV? And I said, yeah, we watched a little. Why? This is before cell phones or anything. And he said, you didn't see nothing on TV about some hitchhiker, them finding a body or anything, did you? And I said, no, why? He goes, no, never mind, just forget it. Well, I'm not going to forget nothing. I was badgering him then. So my husband said, shut your mouth about it, don't worry about it. We picked up a hitchhiker and he fell out of the car and we didn't know if he got hurt or not. Well, I never got the whole story on that, but I know the story about falling out of the car. It was a joke. And then over in Clear Lakes one time, Brenda and I were nosing around, walking around. When you see this place, you're not going to believe it. So we were walking around. We'd heard this guy had died. I'm not going to say his name, but anyway, he had died of natural causes, supposedly, in this rundown little shack. So Brenda and I went in the shack, and the chair that he died in was there, and it still smelled like dead body, and it was kind of where he melted into it. It was kind of nasty looking and everything. I said, wow, I can't believe they found him here, and we were talking about it. So I meet this other guy that's on several of my videos. His name is Ray. He's from over in Clear Lakes. He went to jail for trafficking methamphetamine. So anyway, I'm talking to Ray, because he gets out and he does real good for a while, and then he usually winds up going back. He's in his 60s. So I was talking to Ray, and I was telling him how me and Brenda had found that building where the guy died. I'm telling him all this stuff, yap, non-stop talk like I do. And he just kind of sitting there grinning. I said, what's up? Why are you grinning like that? He said, that's where they found him. That's not where he died. You guys didn't find the diet where he died. And I said, well, tell me. Of course, he never told me another thing. That was it. Left me hanging. So I don't know what he was trying to say. If he was just trying to get me jacked up because I'm so involved in murders and love it. Go to the murder scenes and try to find out everything I can. And then I heard some of you guys, I don't remember which show it was on, it might be FBS's, was talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The year that movie came out is the year I moved to Texas with my daughter's dad. I said, man, we're moving to Texas and this kind of shit's going on, this Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff. Well, I did a little research after I got down here, and I drive all over with the dogs, with the Pekingese stuff and the poodles and the groom, and I drive all over Texas. So I did research on the actual movie, and it was based on several things. The guy in Wisconsin that made lampshades and stuff out of human skin, Gang, or whatever his last name was spelled. But there actually was a family in Childress, Texas that worked in a slaughterhouse that killed people too. So it's kind of based on the two things. So naturally, I was picking a dog up in Childress, and I had to go find this house where this fucking movie was made, and I found it, and I loved it, and there was no way to record anything back then. Oh, wait a minute, my friend. Gotta talk to my buddy. Hang on, people. How much? You in my price range today?
What?
How much?
Cheap. I bargained. I bargained.
I haven't seen you. This is Ray. In case you guys haven't seen him, he's my Tuesday guy, and he will not come up with any for me. I've been begging him. You ain't got no price?
I guess not. You already been?
I'm going to the store now, but I've been to Canton.
Been to Canton?
How you like these?
Oh, I like those.
This is brand new, but man, it's so hot. I don't know how you're walking in this heat.
Well, I'm trying to get it out and I'm almost back.
Okay, well, I won't hold you up.
Hey, see,
Thanks, Ray. Anyway, I went to Childress, found the place where the Texas Massacre, the house, and I just love doing shit like that. So Animal McFadden had grabbed a guard out of Big Sandy Jail, not too far from me. So of course, and he killed 3 teenagers, but he didn't kill the people. I always kind of thought he was innocent, because I sort of knew him, not real good, but he was at a lot of biker parties I was at, and I might have spoke to him or something, but I knew who he was. He's dead now. They gave him the death penalty, and in Texas, they don't mess around. If you get the death penalty, buddy, you better believe you're going down. So I went out there and found where they found the 3 bodies. Well, my brother-in-law, who's passed now, told me that McFadden didn't do that. that it was somehow a sheriff was involved and it was all a big conspiracy. But I found that place before the crime scene tape was even down. Like I said, there wasn't any cell phones back then. I couldn't record everything like I would now. Hell, I'd record everything I see. Uh-oh, who's this dude? I might know him too. He don't look real friendly though. I don't think I'm gonna fuck with him. He don't look like one of my buds. I don't know though, he looks kind of... I'm not gonna mess with him. Anyway, I just want to tell all you Mobtube guys, love y'all. You bottom feeders, the only 3 that I've taken over there are the 3 that I know are good. The rest of you need, if you do come over there, you need to act right, because they're not going to tolerate you. And I hope you guys like my hair, because I absolutely love it. It's so cool. I can groom the dogs, and it won't all be hanging in my face. So, bye-bye. I don't know if that's a gang sign. I don't think it is. Bye.